It's enough with the MCU with a great franchise, but this, probably not. Thor the Dark World. Thor the Dark World is the story and star in this movie. You know, guys, what it is. Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Natalie Portman, and something else, whatever. Whatever I wanted to say. So the story in this movie is where you got, of course, the mighty god Thor, who's back with his magic hammer, Thunder, who really needs to get the hell out of it. So after the set of the Avengers and Iron Man 3, they really need to get out to this whole place, to the Dark World, so that Thor has a battle with it and something like that. So we can see that there are some new villains in the Dark World, as Thor and Loki. They need to team up together in this movie. They really need to team up together. They really need to step up together. They really need to focus on each other, to focus on the new villain, not Loki instead, because this is actually Loki's last appearance before he appeared in Ragnarok. For real. He doesn't appear in the years since 2015, 2016. Loki hasn't appeared in 2015-16. It's been like a years that he appeared this year for Thor Ragnarok. And I have no idea what to review next, but let me get to say about this movie. When I heard about this movie, I thought this movie, I was very excited. I was very, very excited for Thor the Dark World, because I thought Thor the Dark World would be amazing, because I saw the ships, I saw villains. They are all amazing as I thought. This is very awesome. I mean, I wanted to see this movie so bad when I was in school. I was very excited to see Thor the Dark World, because I thought it would be the best MCU movie ever. And yes, I did watch it in theaters and completely changed my mind. That is actually my least favorite MCU movie of this universe. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's terrible. I don't hate Thor. I gotta say, I didn't even like the film actually. I know Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, they're both two great performances in this movie. Idris Elba, Odin, Anthony Hopkins, other things. They're good performances in this movie, especially these two. But I got a one question about this. These teammates that Thor teams up with his teams as from the first one, they're not weak. They're just weak. I mean, the characters in this movie, except the Asgardians and Jane Foster, are all completely stupid, except the professor. But like when they make trouble, like when they make very excited, especially when they really need to focus on it, they really need to team up with Thor. And especially when you see the trailer, that is actually really cool, because the trailer is very cool, but not even the movie, as I said in this movie, because this movie, sorry guys, I find out this movie is actually boring. It's not unwatchable, it is watchable, but more watchable than all these terrible movies like Fantastic. But I'd rather watch the first Thor or Ragnarok than this. Because I could say this movie is very lame, especially when you see the fight scenes. The fight scene in this movie doesn't even make sense. Even though it's very great to see Thor fighting each other. Because I know Chris Hemsworth is very, very great acting in this movie. Especially Tom Hiddleston. He's great. He's great in Kong, he's great in Loki, he is great in anything else, like such as other things, something else has. But I could say this is one of the most boring MCU movies I have ever seen. It is kind of like unwatchable that I rather watch Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk than this. Because these three movies are actually my least. I don't hate them. I don't think they're terrible. I don't think I find them awful. I don't hate three of these movies. I gotta say, I don't even like Thor: The Dark World. I know the actors are great. The professor are great. Jane Foster is great. Loki is great. All Asgardian teams are great. But especially when you see this movie, I was very bored and I almost fell asleep because even the movie is kind of very short because when I sit there and seeing this movie, it's kind of negatively that I really bored watching this movie because I don't find this movie is terrible. I find these movies boring actually because okay, I'm gonna spoil the movie. If you didn't watch it, don't watch it. Because there's this scenes where Loki dies, of course not, because he appeared in Ragnarok. So in some other case he dies and there's the same that's actually the same scenes that Thor's hand has cut off. I have no idea why it's cut off, but there is one nonsense scenes that I have ever seen. This that very cringeworthy scenes that I have ever seen. That I mean nonsensical scenes, and it did not ever fit up in the MCU, especially others like everything that I found it is boring. I mean, how come? Guys, I don't find this movie is terrible. I find this movie is a bit better, but I didn't like it actually. It's boring. Guys, I think it's boring. I didn't even like it. I'm not gonna give negatively like D, and now my numbers are actually rating numbers like a 1 point something like that. Okay guys, I found this movie is boring. I didn't like it. I find this movie is actually I'd rather watch Iron Man 2 and Incredible Hulk than this because I find that this movie that is one of my least favorite MCU movies of this universe. I didn't find it. I can still watch it if there's all terrible movies except this. I can still watch it, but also negative like that. But the only good scenes that surprised me when I tried to sleep and I saw that Loki has turned into Captain America this scene, I was like, oh my god, Captain America's in this movie, yes, oh my god. I was figuring out that's Loki, I was like, oh. Okay, guys, this is one of my least favorite MCU movie of all time. No, I am not gonna give it negatively. I'm not gonna give an F. I'm not gonna give negative numbers because I'm gonna give Thor: The Dark World a 5 out of 10. So this is my least favorite MCU movies of all time. I'm sorry to say it is your favorite Thor movie. That's fine for me. Because guys, what are your thoughts on Thor: The Dark World? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's mediocre? Do you didn't like it or whatever you wanted to share your opinions on Thor: The Dark World? So yeah, next week I'm still excited for Thor Ragnarok because Thor Ragnarok is gonna prove that Thor movies are still strong with the MCU and lead up to the Infinity War and lead up to it shows improvement with Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange is already shows his improvement for Thor. He really needs to help with Thor. It really needs to be strong together with Thor. So guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, next one there's gonna be movie reviews of these two franchises and universe. Because next month there's gonna be a Star Wars saga universe. Yes, I'm gonna start with the episode 1 until the 7. Lead up to the Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm so excited for the Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And the second one, I'm gonna review all the DCEU movies. I'm not excited for Justice League a bit because I'm excited for a bit of Justice League. At least it's just a superhero movie. I think Man of Steel probably one of the best DCU movies of this franchise. Batman v Superman, I didn't like it. Suicide Squad, I hate it. Just hate it. Wonder Woman, of course, I think it's great actually, but I prefer Man of Steel. So guys, thank you for watching, and my name is Team Guy, and you're watching this channel. And I have ran out of ideas. I have no idea why.